Listen up there, YouTube. Chip here with the Iconic Sports Cycle Moto Vlog. What's up? Hey guys. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to talk to you about a movie I saw last weekend. So I want to review a movie instead of a motorcycle. So just follow along with me. We'll talk about the new Avengers movie. Hey, guess what? There's a very cool motorcycle in the Avengers movie. It's the Harley Davidson Live Wire. Now, if you haven't seen this thing, I suggest you get to YouTube and you check it out. It's an all-electric motorcycle. Thank you, Harley Davidson, for stepping up and being the first American manufacturer to look at these motorcycles from the standpoint of a mainstream motorcycle company. There are other companies out there. You have Mission Motorcycles. They make some pretty amazing motorcycles. You've got Lightning motorcycles, Zero motorcycles in California. I mean, so there are some pretty cool electric motorcycles out there. But Harley Davidson being the first mainstream motorcycle company to invest in electric motorcycles, I think that's pretty cool. Thank you, Harley, for stepping up. But again, back to the movie. There are other stars in the movie besides the motorcycles. Hard to believe from a guy like me, but yeah, that's true. You had your typical cast of characters. You had the Hulk, you had Iron Man, you had Thor, you had Captain America, yes, my favorite, and then you had the Black Widow. So you had the cast of superheroes, and the villain in this movie is Ultron. He's the what you call artificial intelligence gets into somebody's scrap pile and develops into this all-powerful being and he taps his way into the internet and creates havoc. So it creates it's kind of a cool movie. You can kind of see those things happening in the future. Of course you have the good versus evil plot in the movie, and I think that's why people go to see the superhero movies, see that good versus evil. They want to see good triumph over evil. I mean, we know that the problems that evil brings, we feel it in our lives daily. Life can be tough. There can be a lot of injustices, and of course, in a superhero movie, the superheroes fix these injustices for us. Somebody identifies a problem. They look at their resources or abilities, and they say, "Hey, I can fix this problem," and they step up to the plate and take care of it. And because they become role models for us. We look up to them. We try to emulate some of their character. So I think this is the important role that superheroes play in America today, or actually throughout the world. I say America. The superheroes are kind of known throughout the world. Interestingly, the Superman, probably the first superhero that really got capitalized on. The gentleman that wrote the Superman series, as a little boy, his dad was shot and killed. As a little boy, he dreamed of a bulletproof man. So you see what that gave us? It gave us Superman. And then it seems like a recurring theme within the different heroes of Marvel and DC Comics. That's quite often these great superheroes come from great personal tragedy. Things that happen in their life that change their world and change their view of things. Sometimes they're put in a particular situation where they have to make some decisions to make some change, and they step up to the plate and they do that. They take courage and the resources available or whatever superpower they've been granted, and they go out and fix the wrong. They correct the things that should have been right in the first place. We live in a world where we have the police and government agencies that are designed to protect our rights. Here in America, they do a pretty amazing job, but there are sometimes when it falls short. And it's, they can't do everything. They can't be everywhere, do everything. Certainly when we see a superhero step in and correct some great wrong, it inspires us. Hopefully it helps us want to be more like that. And hopefully when we see the super villain, we decide that we don't want to be like that. There are villains that are pretty cool out there. People kind of side with them because they're cool. Yeah, we don't want to be the bad guy. We don't want to align ourselves with that. Generally, the people that align themselves with the bad guy, do it under some selfish motive. One of the common themes of the supervillain is they want to dominate your life. They want to control every aspect of it. Freedom comes from God. We're all created as free moral agents. We have the desire to be free, not to have people mess with us, or we want to be able to have the right to defend ourselves. So I think that's a natural thing. There are people that want to take those rights away from us, and I think that comes from evil. Hey, that's just me, my opinion. When you get a chance, I'd suggest you see the Avengers movie. There are people in there that start out as bad guys and turn around and become good guys. I think sometimes when people are given the choice, they see how evil lines up with the good. They make that choice and turn themselves around. I always think that's important. If you recognize that your life is on the wrong course, that you step up and turn around so that you're heading in the right direction. And sometimes it takes somebody who's inspiring, somebody like a superhero, to do that. Hey, look at that. I guess I wasn't going fast enough. But hey, slow speed limits are here, so I'm not trying to road race anybody. Yeah, we're here by the airport here in Titusville, Florida. Heading down towards the Warbird Museum. I always have a hard time saying that. True heroes, Captain America, of course, was dreamed up during the Second World War when we were at war with Hitler. They needed a hero to go against the Nazis. Kind of glad they brought him back. He was an American hero, part of the Air Force. So I kind of think that's cool. Of course, he rides a motorcycle. That's cool. So I guess I probably relate to Captain America. He's the all-American boy. Doesn't cuss, doesn't live a evil lifestyle. Does what's right because it's right. So I kind of admire that. I think we need a lot more role models like that in our world today. He never gives up. He fights to the end. I think that's another thing that's an admirable quality. Not giving in, not changing your values, just because it's easy. Yeah, this is a good road for motorcycles, apparently. Check it out. So, again, highly recommend you see the movie. I'm going to turn around and back here, double back. I hope when you do go see the movie, you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll pay attention to the whole good versus evil theme. Decide what side you'd like to be on. I think it's important that you make that decision in advance. I think sometimes when opportunity presents itself, it's easy to go either way. If the opportunity looks good for one reason or another. Again, it's usually evil comes from selfish motives. But that's why we have people that inspire us. And I think when people create superheroes, they look for qualities and that people can look up to. Of course, sometimes it's just that our inspiring power that they have. The Incredible Hulk. That super strength, being able to leap from building to building, and I think we all have that rage inside when things don't go according to plan. We get people. There are people that tick us off. We'd like to turn green and teach them a thing or two, but not always the best option. Really, sometimes the best result. And even the Hulk in his when he's David Banner realizes there are probably better ways to correct those things without beating everybody up. But sometimes the evil, that's the only thing they understand is a good as that's saying that they have. Sometimes people just need a high five to get them on the right track. High five to the face. What a chair. To get them turned around, head them headed in the right direction. It doesn't come as easy for everybody. And sometimes you just have to, crush out evil. I think that sometimes we try to see evil and just say, well, what causes these people to be evil? Why do they do that? Why do they think that way? You know, what can I do to help? And sometimes there's really nothing you can do. Sometimes you just gotta man up and you know, crush it out. You know, and it's sad that you have to do that. It's sad that some people get their soul so infected with evil and hate that you're forced to make that decision. I feel fortunate that I've not had to make that decision in my life. But, you know, like I said, I do understand it. You know, and I understand the people that do have to make that decision. There are people out there fighting the good fight. Now, we've got Memorial Day coming up here. I hope that when you see somebody in uniform, that you take a moment and you say thank you. You extend your hand, you shake their hand, you let them know how much you appreciate the battle that they fight. You know, and it doesn't matter what they do in their military service. You know, they're part of our support team. You know, even the superheroes. Lots of them have their support team, the people that back them up. They're, you know, Batman has Alfred. You know, the Arrow has his little crew of people that, you know, help him clean up the city. You know, he has a whole crew of superheroes working with him. You know, it's good to be part of that support team and support that support team. You know, recognize that they have a job to do. You know, they're fighting evil, and to if you get an opportunity, you know, and don't, like I said, don't wait till Labor Day or, you know, Memorial Day or these days that are, you know, VA Day. You know, there's a lot of reasons to be memorable of different events in world history. Don't wait till those days. You know, anytime you see somebody in uniform, be sure to thank them. I know it's not the same as a superhero costume, but trust me, these guys are superheroes in everything that they do. They've chosen a life just like a superhero chooses to do what they do. You know, they make a choice in their life to right the wrongs, to choose a life that's different, a lifestyle that's different. They make a great personal sacrifice quite often. A lot of these guys in the military do the same thing. So when you see somebody in uniform, please take the moment and give them, you know, thank them for their service. If you actually ever get to meet a superhero, thank them for their service as well. You know, of course, highly unlikely, being that they're kind of fantasy, but again, they're for our entertainment, but also to inspire us to do good things. I hope that when you able to see good alongside evil, you're able to make that choice. You know, Martin Luther King knew that. He knew that that if he marched and he was completely peaceful, people would be able to see good alongside evil. And he knew that the people, if they were able to see that and make that distinction, would choose good over evil. You know, I mean, he was a true hero. You know, he made decisions, tough decisions. I'm sure that a lot of them came at great personal sacrifice. You know, and of course, in the end, it, you know, resulted in his death. So therefore, you know, and unfortunately, that's the way it ends for a lot of heroes. You know, in the movies, a lot of them come back. You know, through some type of supernatural or scientific, you know, advancement. Not always the case in real life. You know, we do live in some amazing times. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the government has some type of Iron Man suit out there somewhere. The ability to fly or deflect bullets or heavy armament. You know, it's you know, we live in a time where technology is, you know, changing daily. You know, so again, you know, speaking of changing technology, you know, I think we'll see electric motorcycles more mainstream in the future. I think that you know, there will be people that will have abilities and resources that will change the world. I think Elon Musk is one of them. The Tesla company's changing the world as far as electric cars. They just came out with a battery for your house. And if you can imagine that, it's only $3,500. That's pretty affordable if you ask me. Run your house on a battery that's rechargeable by solar. So, you know, we've got people out there thinking, having great visions, you know, for Save the Planet. So, you know, there are people out there doing their part. So pay attention to those people. Be thankful, be grateful. Again, you know, superheroes are kind of fantasy. You may not ever get a chance to thank one in person. But if you get a chance, take your kids, your grandkids, go see a superhero movie, bond with them over it, have that conversation about good versus evil, help them to see the difference, help them to see that being good isn't always easy, but the end result is always well worth it. You can live with yourself, you can look in the mirror, you can live with the person you are if you make the right choices. You make the wrong one, you're going to always have that difficulty facing yourself. So don't do that, you know. Make the tough choices, do the right thing, be a superhero in your life, be a superhero of those around you, you know, if you get the opportunity to do so. But again, highly recommend the Avenger movie this weekend if you get a chance to see it. Highly recommend it. Take your family, friends to see it as a group. But again, this is Chip from the Iconic Sports Cycle Moto Vlog. Hope you enjoyed today's topic of conversation, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks, and keep on watching.